Let me guess. You've got an underperforming employee and you're thinking about putting them on a performance improvement plan. Sadly, I've got bad news for you. It's probably going to fail. In my 18 years of working with business leaders, I've seen countless improvement plans crash and burn. Today, I'm going to show you why the traditional approach is fundamentally flawed and what you should do instead. Hi, my name is Elize, and I help business owners and their team unlock potential. Because let's be real, people aren't just part of the business, they are the business. And yet, so many leaders approach performance improvement like fixing a faulty machine, tweaking behaviors, and adjusting KPIs and increasing pressure. But behavior is a byproduct of something so much deeper. It's about ingrained beliefs and how people see themselves internally. That's why most performance improvement plans don't work, because they focus on what the people do instead of who they believe they are. So, why do most performance improvement plans fail? The first one is we're only dealing with surface behaviors and metrics. Things like make more sales calls or improve response times or make your KPIs. But behavior is just the tip of the iceberg. The real driver of performance is self image and how people see themselves internally. Maxwell Maltz has this incredible book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And in this book, he talks about how you can never outperform your self image. So Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and he noticed that when people had a successful surgery, they fixed their nose or removed a scar from their face. Many people had almost like a different personality afterwards. They were more confident and outgoing. And what he realized was that some people had that personality change, but others didn't, although they still had a successful surgery. And that made him think that we have two images of ourselves. We have an external image, what other people see, how we dress and how we behave. And then we have an internal image about how we see ourselves. Now, we can never outperform our self image. You need to see yourself as the excellent programmer or the really effective project manager, because no amount of external pressure will cause lasting change. It's almost like trying to fix a leaking roof by putting a bucket underneath it. You're catching the water, but you're not fixing the leak. If you're only dealing with behaviors, you're only dealing with symptoms and not the root cause of the poor performance. Yes, some employees might improve for a few weeks under a performance improvement plan, but as soon as the pressure's off, they revert to their old behavior. And Maltz described this as the brain's internal thermostat. You always return to whatever temperature or identity you believe is normal for you. So imagine a cold day in winter and suddenly the house starts feeling cold. You may check the furnace and see if the heating is on, but then you realize that the front door is open. You close the door and immediately the heating kicks in and the house starts feeling warmer again. The thermostat will ensure that the house gets back to the temperature that it's set at. If your internal thermostat dictates that your self image is low, then you will never reach the levels you want. External pressures create temporary compliance, not transformation. Real change happens when someone believes in their own abilities to improve. Someone needs to want to improve. We cannot make them change. People need to have that motivation internally, and that's what actually makes a change happen. The solution is changing the identity and not just the behavior. Instead of forcing performance, help your employees become higher performers internally so their behaviors happen naturally. And I'll show you how. So you need to focus on mindset first. Start with how the employee sees themselves. Ask questions like, how do you view your role? Or what kind of professional do you believe you are? Or what is holding you back? Great actors actually do this really well. They embrace the new role they're playing and they completely embrace the personality. They learn the script, they practice the script, they act the script, and they become the script. Stella Adler taught acting, and she actually taught Marlon Brando how to act. And she spoke about you don't act a role, you become it. And that's what we need to do. The same is true for your performance at work. People must embody the success before they can achieve it. The second is to create identity based change. If someone just sees themselves as just getting by, their behavior will match it. But if they start seeing themselves as a strategic thinker or a problem solver or a top performer, they will act in alignment with that. Help people rewrite their internal story. Instead of, I'm just not good at sales, say, I'm someone who builds relationships easily. That internal shift changes everything. Thirdly, we need to build intrinsic motivation. Rather than pressurizing them, help them find their own reasons to improve. What aspect of their work excites them? What personal goals would growth help them achieve? And what kind of professional do they want to be? Once people choose to change and choose to make those improvements, that's when they buy in and really want those changes to happen. And lastly, provide support and not surveillance. Transform your performance improvement plan to a development plan. It's not punishment. Offer mentoring instead of micromanagement. Provide resources to develop their new skill and create a safe space for growth where mistakes are part of learning and not a mark against them. So before you put someone on performance improvement, pause and ask yourself, am I trying to fix behaviors? Am I trying to transform their self image? Until a change in their internal identity happens, any improvement is temporary at best. Solve the cause of the poor performance and build a performance strategy that actually works. I'll see you in the next video.